Welcome back to Before You Vote. As we start talking with candidates, the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, a very big office, and joining us now, Republican candidate and current County Attorney Rachel Mitchell. Thanks for doing this.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We've been talking since you took this office, and you kind of came into a situation that was a little bit rough. Let's start there. How are things in the office now from your perspective, and are you satisfied with how far you've come?
Yeah, when I took over, we were 20% down in personnel. We have built those numbers up. We had a large backlog of unreviewed cases. We have cut that down. We had a large backlog of unreviewed officer-involved shootings. We've eliminated that. So, am I satisfied? I always like to, go even further than we have. But I mean, we have really brought the office back, and it's doing well, and it's doing what it should be doing.
There is a lot of question. I think the focus of the public a lot of times shifts. It was for a while they scrutinized law enforcement to a great degree, and now it seems like it's on the judiciary side of this, the sentencing and the trials. Are you satisfied with that, with the labor force you have and the number of trials and cases you're taking to trial? Is that in a good place?
It is in a good place. We still have a few positions that were given to us by the Board of Supervisors this year that we're going to fill, and but we have been able to keep the case loads manageable so that people can get the attention that they need to the cases.
Interesting, because I have been talking on the air of how the Board of Supervisors has been saying we've cut government and keep spending down, and there is no debt in the county. But one of the areas that we're focused on is your office and county funding. Are you satisfied with the funding? Are they funding your office appropriately?
Yes. I mean, when I started, they gave a pay-for-performance raise, but they also gave a market adjustment so that we could hold on to people, and they've given us additional positions. So the one area that they don't want to cut into is criminal justice, and that's not only the county attorney, but it's the sheriff as well.
So this obviously is a political season in a race. Talk to me about running for this office and why. State your case. Why are you the best person for the office?
It's not an overstatement to say I love the office. I've been in the office 32 years, and most of it, as you know, I was a sex crimes prosecutor. And so I have walked alongside people in their darkest places, and, I've given them a voice, I've given them an ear, and I've given them really a shoulder a lot of times. And that's what this office can do. It can restore people's faith in society. We can't 100% wipe out what happened to them, but we can let them know that society is not okay with what happened to them and give them some vindication. And that's critical. And it's critical to keeping our society safe.
I think that more than anything, if you've ever been a victim of a crime, is when you go to the system, you call the police like you're supposed to, and then you feel like you're not getting justice. You're almost angry at the system. And I think that, especially when it comes to a crime as horrible as that, would be the worst case.
Absolutely. And, it's an extra hurt beyond the crime itself when the system doesn't kick in and vindicate your, what happened to you. So that's very important for us to do.
It's odd because there are a couple of positions politically that I don't think are a partisan office, that you either can do the job or you can't do the job, but you have to run as a Republican. What is it about the office that isn't partisan? What is it that no matter who's in that office, they have to do what job?
I agree with you. This and the sheriff's office should be the most nonpartisan. We're not there to vote. We don't cast votes. What we do is we protect society and make sure the community is safe. And that's regardless of whether the victim has an R or a D or an I or whatever letter after their name. Justice is blind, justice should be blind, and my office should be blind as well. And we do our best to make sure that we're nonpartisan.
I asked you before if you were satisfied, and you said you're never really satisfied. So if re-elected to the office or if elected to carry on another term in this office, what would you want to do next? What do you think the office needs to do next?
I think we're already starting, but we're going to really be focusing on juvenile violent crimes. We've seen, obviously, the Southeast Valley, but what we're seeing is a national trend and a statewide trend for juvenile violent crime to go up, even though violent crime is going down. And so we need to address that on a number of levels. We need to address it through how the courts respond to it, how we respond to it policy-wise, but we also need to look at some legislation And we have included some of those things in our legislative agenda for 2025.
Is it punishment? Is it counseling? Is it a combination? Is it case specific? What's the attack on that?
You know, the court system is geared for rehabilitation, hoping that they never get to adult court. And so what I want to say is, let's not just check a box and say we put them through some program. Let's look at a program and make sure it's research-based and it's effective, and hopefully they do not make it into the adult court system. But they need to know, and I think this is an important part of rehabilitation, the adult court system is ready to hold them accountable if they don't take advantage of it.
I appreciate the time as always, and I know with this short amount of time we can't explain everything, but I do appreciate the time and the look forward into the next term, and I wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
All right, Rachel Mitchell, she is the county attorney running for the Maricopa County Attorney's Office again. We'll be back.